Hello, everybody. It's Colleen Tatum coming at you on this wonderful Monday. Today is actually the 110-year anniversary of the International Women's Day. That's a huge deal. Sometimes people say, why do we even need that anymore? And I just want to take a minute to celebrate women, to say, hey, you are amazing, you are enough. And also, let's talk about why we need this day still in 2021. So we have so many women to thank for who we are and where we are as women. Certainly 110 years ago when this started, women were fighting for the most basic rights. Certainly across the globe, many women still are. But if we're talking in North America 100 years ago, women could not have a bank account. They could not own property. They had no freedom of choice. Even one generation removed from me, women did not have the right to say no to sexual relations to their spouse. They still did not have the right to do many of these things without permission of their husband. And so while we've come far, we also have the system of gender bias still very much alive and strong. Very much alive and strong. We have a system of gender bias against women. So, we only need to look at things like the gender pay gap, the difference in women's net worth on average compared to men on average, because we're not entering the workforce as much, because we're taking time out of that workforce to take care of children. And more also, we're also taking care of aging parents. So we're taking time out of the workforce on the front end and maybe on the back end too. So women's net worth is generally very much lower than a man's net worth. That leaves us susceptible to so many things, so many risks coming along with that. Certainly, if we look at things like sexual abuse and even beyond the instances of sexual abuse, if we look at the instances of actual convictions and actual having these predators in jail, both for women and children victims, and of course there's men too, but if we look at the numbers, the vast bulk of that unfortunately still happens to women and children, girls. We don't have conviction rates. We don't have these predators staying in prison because the system is very much still set up to protect the predator, because women, subconsciously, we are expected to receive this kind of attention or this kind of energy from males. Our role very much is still to receive a man's sexual advances, whether it's wanted or not. That's our job in a lot of ways. So we only need to look at the rate of sexual abuse and then the conviction of those predators, and then also how long they stay imprisoned, to tell us where the real value lays in our society when we say that we value women and children, but our actions don't back that up. We need to look at intimate partner violence rates, and even, schools that exist to this day that mandate what a girl can and cannot wear to school based on the distraction it provides to the males in the classroom. There was a TikTok post, I think last week, a lady in BC, her father was very upset because she wore something that the school deemed distracting and was sent home. So still today, this is a real issue. So add in a pandemic. Now we're seeing these issues fester and start to erupt. We're seeing reports that women's participation level in the workforce never has been as low since the 1980s. Women are leaving the workforce in droves. And, what really that points to is because so much of that domestic labor is still falling to a woman. So we won the right to go to work full time, but we did not gain equality in the home. So much of that domestic labor is still falling to a woman. So now when schools were taken away, that fell back on the woman. The woman primarily was the one that is helping our kids homeschool and Zoom school and all these things. So our participation level in the workforce has never been as low since 1980. So women are in crisis right now when it comes to that. You know, I'm really lucky that I have a career, a job where I can work at home now with the pandemic and my children are here with me, but not everyone has that. And not everyone's employers work at home is really something that is viable for you to do with kids at home. So, you know, one only needs to pop into a Facebook moms group to really see how this is so prevalent. There are so many post after post after post of moms saying, does your husband change diapers? Does your husband do laundry? Does your husband do dishes? Does your husband help? Does your husband help? Over and over and over, we see these posts where men, I'm sorry, but you are not on the large part picking up the slack at home. This has to change. If you want to be married and you want to have a healthy, happy life, you need to start picking this up. But still, that bias has been so ingrained in us. And again, it's only really one generation away when our moms started working outside the home. So part of it is, this is what these guys were taught. This is what us women were taught was okay. And so we have to consciously question, what is happening and why is it happening? And then we have to do the work to change it. So kudos to the guys that are doing the work. We appreciate you so much. But man, I tell you, I see this so often in these mom groups. Women are stressed. Women have so much responsibility outside the home and inside the home, and it's just not being relieved in an equitable way. We need your help, guys. We cannot do it alone. It is just not healthy. So moms are exhausted, women are exhausted. And so while I'm so thankful that I have the ability to do so much more in my life than my grandmother or my great-grandmother could ever have dreamed of, I am also very aware of how much farther we have to go. And so on this International Women's Day, I'm just saying thank you to you that are questioning and participating in this change. Change is not easy. Change is not comfortable. Our human brain is designed to keep us from change. Even good change, our brain is wired to stop that change. And so you have to consciously question and you have to consciously make action to change it. And I tell you, the more we do this, the happier everyone gets to be. So this isn't just about making women's lives better. This is making everyone's lives better, including the men. Because when you have happy, healthy women, now we can have happy, healthy relationships with the men in our lives. So kudos to everyone that is participating in this change, this ongoing change that we're going through. Thank you so much to the women and the men that helped us get to where we are today. But let's really honor the work that still needs to happen to get us to where we need to go. So on this International Women's Day, I challenge you to take a look at the things around you. What are those microaggressions that you might be participating in that you don't realize you are? Asking a woman when she's going to have more kids, asking a woman at work, where are your kids? Yeah, we have caregivers. We have husbands usually too helping. Don't ask women these questions. Don't participate in these microaggressions. Question, change, and be better. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and happy International Women's Day.